Hello, this is Coron Land, released in 1995, developed by Aroma and published by Yumedia. I first ran this game in 2019 for a 12-hour challenge, then I decided to run it a few weeks ago and improve my time by about 6 minutes. This will be the one-player, one-controller category. I'll be playing as Hyou, the boy, because the boy has a faster rate of fire compared to the girl, who has a longer range, and the faster rate of fire is more important than the longer range. So no one else has really run this game, it's just been me. Even though I put this my old run up on YouTube like 5 years ago, no one's decided to pick up the game. It's a pretty cool game. You just try and defeat the enemies as fast as possible in an arena-type setting. It's kind of like Bubble Bobble meets Bomberman. And you can put the enemies in a little ball, and then use the ball to throw at other enemies and defeat them faster. And the game has 30 stages? Yeah, I believe so. So, you know, go through each stage and I guess talk about some of the mechanics I forgot. Those are the bomb enemies you see there in the upper right. Those can also be used to take out other enemies. The thing about this game is it has a lot of randomness, and even the explosion, like, radius and where it spawns of the bombs is random. What the enemies do is random, where they move is random, things like that. So it's very tough to have a consistent run of this game. This run will end up being about 22 minutes long, and my sum of best is a very low 19 minutes, so about 3 minutes off sum of best in a 22-minute run is quite a lot, but just because there's a lot of randomness in the run. And there you saw me like run into an enemy on purpose so I could then shoot the bomb and be safe. The bombs do a lot of damage to both the enemies and the player, so whenever possible you definitely want to avoid getting hit by the bombs. But everything else in the game doesn't really do that much damage. I guess I'll also talk about the enemy types. The mage enemies are kind of straightforward here, and these are like little metallic dudes with feet. They can reflect back the balls that you throw at them. So you kind of just have to shoot them down or wait for them to turn around so you can hit them with a ball, which will instantly defeat them. Already in one forest is one of 2 levels that have ice physics. And the ice physics are honestly kind of annoying. Oh yeah, something also to mention is the upgrades. I just got the S upgrade, which makes the player character move faster. There's also a P upgrade, which makes the character have longer range. So sometimes you'll see me like roll up the ball to max, which will allow me to one-shot the opposing enemies. And sometimes I'll just, I've had a lot of trouble killing that enemy there. Sometimes I'll just shoot them down. It kind of just depends on the situation. Like if they're far away, I'd rather throw a ball at them. If they're up close, I'd rather just shoot them. What I tried to do for this game when routing was just, try to have a general game plan for each level and just try and react as best I could to where the enemies were. There was like no super exact science because it's hard to have that for a game like this. What I just did there was I intentionally took damage on the enemy that can reflect the shots back at you and went through them. That way I was able to throw the ball at him from behind. You can actually bounce it back. I tried to do it again there, but I missed. Yeah, sometimes hearts can spawn. I should also talk about how like the upgrades actually work. The upgrades, some of them just are on a timer, and they'll spawn very close to when the level starts, and some of them you have to move over a specific like tile on the map in order to get it to spawn. So if you ever see me move to like a weird spot, it's probably spawned an upgrade. Here's the cat enemy. The cat enemy is a little bit tricky because it can also reflect back the balls. Only some of them though. You can also pick up the cat and use it to throw it at other enemies, which you'll see in some other stages coming up. Oh yeah, there's also 3 types of balls you can have when you roll it up to max size. There's a ball that bounces back and forth, there's a ball that just pierces everything, and there's a ball that explodes on contact. And those different max size balls, oh, there's also the ball that doesn't have any special effect. And those balls have different properties, like damage properties, in addition to the special effects of them. And you can see there he bounced it back because I was unable to throw it in time. Here I try and keep the cat and throw it at the those dudes because they can't actually bounce back the cat. And sometimes you'll see me like walk into an enemy on purpose at the end, which skips the forming of the ball, which just saves a little bit of time. This level features destructible like bomb things, which are useful in clearing out the enemies. I guess here I decided to roll to max strength to take out the cat. Sometimes you can use the cat to take out the enemies in the stage, but I decided not to for this one. Here I'm trying to hope that the explosion radius of the bomb takes out this cat. Fortunately, I was unsuccessful. But I keep one mage alive on purpose so I can roll a max strength ball into the cat, which immediately takes her out. Otherwise, it takes a lot of throws to defeat the cat. This stage features stars you have to destroy in order to progress. There's a lot of good variety in the levels in this game. It's a good reason to run it. Yeah, there I was hoping that the bomb took out the dudes that can bounce back the balls, and was successful. The enemies always spawn in the same order, and it's just dependent on which enemies you take out. So I intentionally spawned the cat in such a way that I could use the cat to defeat the remaining enemies in that level. Alright, this is the first boss. Already 110, Underworld 1. The boss in this game are also random. For this one, you'd have to just hope he spawns enough enemies to throw back at him. Like right here, he's just not doing anything. He could just sit here and spawn a ton of enemies that you can roll up and throw back at him if he decides to. There, unfortunately, I missed. You can see, like, I try and keep some of the enemies in a ball to throw for later in case he decides not to spawn more. Me firing the gun at him does absolutely nothing. I'm just waiting around. There's nothing else I can do. These guys are surprisingly difficult to hit as well. Also, you see me try and collect all the fruits at the end of a stage as well, but that doesn't do anything except increase your score. Also, I have no idea what the story of this game is. Translation was started on this game, but was never finished. And given how unpopular the game is, I doubt it will ever be finished. The sign in the middle says, danger, I believe, here. Alright, so now it's the monkey enemy type. The monkeys are very tricky. They take a lot of hits to take out. And sometimes I'll just shoot them down, sometimes I'll roll a max ball into them. Again, it just depends on the situation. Ideally, what you want to do is see the little yellow cat enemies, the Pikachus, if you will. Because they're so easy to form into a ball, you kind of want to like ball them up and throw them into the monkeys. Because if you try and like shoot a monkey down and ball him up, it's going to take longer. But again, it's really hard to come up with like exact science and strats for this. Alright, this will be the first level that features a destructible terrain object. And if you're able to destroy all destructible terrain objects, the stage immediately ends without having to defeat all the enemies. This tree normally takes 3 max damage balls, but if you get the piercing ball, it'll sometimes take more. I threw the cat into the tree to kind of weaken it down, which might help if I get some of the lower strength max balls. This stage is pretty annoying. The idea here is to use the cat to try and take out at least one of the monkeys. They do succeed in doing. Then a whole bunch of bat spawns. I try and take out the bats as early as possible. They just die to one gunshot. They can't be balled up. And then while I'm taking out the bats, I'm trying to take out the monkeys as well, because those are the main threats in this stage. Again, same principle here, trying to roll up a max ball to take out a monkey. It's funny, even though I'm so far off my sum of best, this run actually has seemed pretty good so far. Watching it back. And same principle here. That's the other piercing ball that you saw. That one actually does less damage. And because I got 2 of them here, it's going to take another additional ball to take out the middle palm tree. This one's kind of close in time between taking out all the enemies and taking out all the destructible terrain objects. But I think it is still a little bit faster to just try and take out all the palm trees. Yeah, so normally I wouldn't need that last ball in the palm tree if I hadn't gotten 2 of the piercing balls. Yeah, that's the bounce ball. I think it also does a little bit less damage, but I think it still does more than the piercing ball. This is one of the longer stages in the run as well. And for the ending here, I actually don't take them all out. It's just a little bit faster to just take out the enemies, I think. At least from my minor amount of testing. The total playtime of my splits by the time I was done running this game is about 13 hours, to give you an idea of how long I ran it. So maybe like 4 or 5 hours of offline practice and testing, somewhere around there. Alright, this is the first fight against the monkey boss. This is the hardest level of the entire game, I should mention. This guy is very random, he takes a lot of hits to go down. The strategy I decided to go with is that I would roll a ball to about half strength, and then I would finish rolling it when he was about to come down. Because the issue is the star ball explodes automatically if you roll to max strength and don't do anything with it. So I can't just like sit on the ball like I can with the other ones. And sometimes if he's nearby, I'll throw him. What you really want to have happen is for him to be close to the bombs, and then he gets hit by the explosion, which also does a lot of damage. But I lost most of my runs to this fight, and even this is not a particularly good one. Just jetting around everywhere. I think in my splits I was able to do that fight maybe like 20 seconds faster if everything goes well. I was just happy to get past it at all. Again, that's one of the hardest parts. And then a lot of these stages end up being a lot easier. Here my strategy is just to use the cat to take out the bombs. Again, because the boy has not a lot of range, it's kind of tricky to hit the bombs without taking massive explosion damage. If I were playing as the girl, it'd be a lot easier. Again, this is another similar stage, just take out all the bombs. You can actually move these little platforms here by throwing a ball at them, which is useful to traverse. And then I get the range upgrade and it becomes pretty trivial. A category I want to investigate at some point in the future will be one player, 2 controllers, where I play as both the boy and the girl at the same time, which should be both faster and more consistent, because nothing about the enemy's health or changes at all. And then I can just use the girl in some stages. You can also like shoot the girl and pick her up and throw her into enemies, which also makes things a little bit easier. But yeah, it's another pretty easy stage. Again, it gives you a range upgrade. You can just use that to take out the bombs. I move all 3 of these platforms here just to give me a good angle to shoot the bombs. It's not absolutely required, but I feel like it makes it a lot easier. I feel like in this game, when it has so much randomness, you just want as much consistency as possible. Alright, more bombs to take out. Again, this is similar to one of the previous stages. I think the developer vision here is that you just do nothing but chain reaction explosions and then quickly take out the cat with a ball. And it's just non-stop explosions, the bombs keep spawning. I'm kind of able to do that a little bit here. Again, if you get really bad explosion luck, you won't actually even get these chain reactions. Remember, I lost a lot of time in whatever PB I got before this one to that happening, even though this is one of the easiest stages. There, I almost took too much explosion damage and perished. Fortunately, the boy, Hyou, was okay. Alright, Boss of World 2. This guy feels a little bit less random than the Boss of World 1. Again, pretty straightforward. He spawns things that you use to throw into him. If you're wondering how much damage like, rolling it to max saves. I think it's like, you do like 60 damage with a max strength bubble ball, and it's like maybe 9 with a medium, or just a small strength one. I have these numbers written down somewhere. See if I can find them real quick. Yeah, the gun does 1 point of damage, although that doesn't really correlate too well to some of the enemies. The small one does 9 damage, medium does 16, large does 29, max does 60. So you always want to roll to max strength on the bosses. Alright, this is World 3 and also the final world. This one also features destructible terrain here. You just gotta destroy the doors. This one's just a 1 max strength ball and 1 normal ball. We'll take it out. I remember when I came back to running this, I thought it was 2 max strength balls. Then I actually did the math and realized I didn't have to roll up the second one. Assuming I got just a normal max strength ball or a star one, the piercing and the bounce balls will do less damage. It's also one of the longer stages. Also, I guess you're top of the night enemies. The night enemies just do not take a lot of damage from balls. I guess you can kind of like throw out the damage numbers again, because it's just way faster to shoot them with a gun and take them out like that than it is to roll up anything, unlike a lot of the other enemies in this game. So you're only ever going to see me shoot the knights down. And here I'm intentionally trying to spawn the cat as late as possible to use them to take out the blocker enemies. Since there, the cat actually helped me out and took out the little Pikachu enemy. The cat is so tricky sometimes. This is actually a really good stage, but then I just have so much trouble taking out this cat. Like, it was so good, but I just couldn't get the last shot off. This one features cute cats on the cannons trying to take you out, and also the very annoying ghost enemies. The ghosts are incredibly random. Oh yeah, also there's a bomb in this one. I think there's a bomb in a previous stage as well, in case you haven't noticed. The bomb will just clear all enemies on screen. So you want to try and take out as many enemies as possible before the bomb despawns. Then they all exploded. Alright, here it is, 3-4. Spoilers, this run is going to have a death, but it's honestly one of the most BS deaths I've ever seen in this game. So here I'm trying to just form a ball to throw into the door, and there, look, the ghost just blocks me, just appears right in front of me. I was unable to hit it. It's like, alright, it's fine, I get a piercing ball. All I need is just one more piercing ball to win. And I'm about to get it, like this is about to be a win, and he just spawns on top of me and kills me. So that's really unfortunate. Ends up being like a 30-second death or so. But I get very good luck on the second go-around, which is why I decided just to end on this run. And the reason is because I actually get a bounce ball here. And again, which ball you get is off the max strength is random. If you have a bounce ball, you can just use it to one-shot the door. So it ended up being kind of okay. But yeah, that death is a real sore spot, but if I didn't have it, it could have been a 21, but at the same time, it's, you know, sometimes you just gotta move on after exhausting one week of running a game. There, I'm not sure why the ball did not defeat the pillar there. You can attack it from any side, unlike other doors. And this is the only stage to feature the random color tiles. There's 3 different colors. The blue that you just saw there will spawn hearts. It's obviously the best one. The yellow will cause weights to fall down. Those do a lot of damage. And the red will be spikes, which don't do a lot of damage, but they're kind of annoying. I go really fast on this stage. I think it was a golden PB just because I was so upset at the death. Usually there's one more random colored tile section there at the end, but I was able to skip the final section. This 3-door one was one of the hardest ones to figure out how to route. You You want to get the speed upgrade immediately for sure, and then you just kind of have to hope you roll up piercing balls, because they'll allow you to take out the middle door. You don't want to take out both bombs because then bats will spawn and then it gets really annoying. You kind of have to leave the second bomb alive on purpose and just hope you get beneficial balls. If you get a bounce ball, you can use it on the right side to one-shot the door, similar to how you saw in 3-4. You can see I'm kind of like hesitant on like which one should I use on which door. But it kind of worked out. That was also pretty close to gold. Like, it's a shame, just because outside that death, this was a pretty good run. Again, considering how much randomness there is in the run. Here, similar to other ones, again, you just want to roll up a 1 max strength. If you get a piercing one, you want to do another true max strength. Again, that does less damage. Move on. Some of these stages, they look very simple, but they can go very wrong if you just get bad luck. Or if you get like a star ball, because that can damage the player. That can be really tricky to work around. Alright, here's the second fight against the monkey boss. This one's a lot easier than the first. The thing about this boss is that he will always, unless you like attack him in a very specific way, he'll always throw away max strength balls, so... the safe strat that I'm doing here is I just throw him over and over. And I'm intentionally leaving this final bat alive and making sure he doesn't accidentally get defeated. Because then more bombs will spawn, more enemies will spawn, it becomes a huge mess. The boss can use a whole bunch of different attacks that do a lot of damage, but fortunately I was able to get him into a throw infinite. The PB I had before this last one actually did die to the boss and lost a lot of time, like 40 plus seconds. So I was trying to play it kind of safe. Alright, this is the final boss. 310, the machine, and the crystal. So again, the gun does 1 damage. This is where I initially found out what the damage values were for the game, using scripts, RAM watch, and stuff like that. You want to shoot the crystal 10 times and use nothing but max strength balls. That'll do exactly enough damage to beat the boss. In practice, of course, I'm not actually counting my shots. I'm just shooting while I wait for them to spawn the balls, which again is random. They can just sit here and not spawn any balls for like 30 seconds. You can just lose the entire run at the end. And it's possible to just like keep punching you, and it's really hard to dodge. Again, you see me here, I try and like keep the balls here. I barely won, just no health remaining. I decided to stop timing here. I started timing when I selected the player character, stopped timing when I phased the block here. Seemed pretty good. And we won. We saved the world, this fairy. I don't know what the story is. That's 1 sad crystal, though. But yeah, this is a pretty fun run. A pretty good casual game, I'd say. Pretty cute game. Even though it's a lesser known, decided to give it a somewhat real-ish grind. Obviously, again, my sum of best is a low 19 minutes. You get sub 20 if you really grind it down and got pretty lucky, but that'd be a lot more work. And yeah, I mentioned this also, but I think in the future I'm going to run this game 1 player, 2 controller. That way I'll have access to the girl for a few stages, and her longer range is good. And just having access to the girl to throw into enemies will also make things a bit easier. So I'll probably, yeah, route that out and do runs of it whenever I decide to play this game again. That's probably all I'm going to do for the any percent Hyou category. Because, yeah, 1 player, 2 controller just makes it faster for sure. Makes it more consistent. And I get to play as the girl sometimes, and she's very cute. Also, the ending changes slightly if you have 2 players here. But none of the endings actually give you credits, it just goes to this score screen. Which is a shame, because I'd like to know all the fine men and women that made this game. But yeah, that is it. Here I power off and power on. I did actually buy a real card of this game off of a Japanese auction site, I believe. It's like maybe 20, 30 bucks. Because that's how much I care about Coron Land. So no flash card here. Not really sure what's happening now, but eventually I put the game back in and listened to a song you didn't hear in the run, which I think is used in multiplayer, and listened to it for a little bit. But yeah, this run looked cool. Should try and pick it up. It's not too hard. I'm probably going to link my pastebin and my Google Doc I have for this game. It documents a little bit of the information. Yeah, it's a cute game, fun game. And I hope people out there were able to experience the joys of Coron Land. I probably didn't cover everything, but I covered most of the stuff. That song's pretty nice. Yeah, thanks for watching. Again, trying to get more PBs up on YouTube, if possible. Even if, like, I don't feel like doing post-commentary like I did now, just, you know, throw up a run, whatever run I have, and just let it be. Yeah, that's all. Thanks for watching. Coron Land's good. Coron Land forever. There's 3 seconds left. Bye!